Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Second Guessing with Stressin. I had some free time to kind of rehash the game. I'll probably just do it for 30 minutes or so. But yeah, we're back, man. We finally had some like legit, action to look at to get things rolling. So I figured we can kind of get on here and kind of, talk about the game and get our thoughts out there. So I already see engineers in the chat. Shout out engineer. He said O line looked good except for Blake, except for one Blake Fisher. He got beat almost every play, even against the backups. Yeah, so I didn't watch him too closely, but obviously I saw clips and I did see plays live where he did get beat. I will be excited to go back and look at the all 22 sometime tomorrow and see how that looks. But yeah, the O line looks good. Real quick, I'm gonna try and get my Instagram to work. It for some reason is not working, so I had it. So just bear with me for a second. I'll kind of talk while I do this, but let's just see Vikings versus Texans recap. But yeah, in the meantime, if y'all have any thoughts in the chat of things that y'all want to talk about or what you took away, I'll kind of do the same thing like normal, like when I recap training camp or the news. I'll just go through my timeline. If you follow me on other platforms like YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, you probably don't get as much as my analysis as people do on X. Like during game day, it's hard to be on multiple platforms at once. But on I don't know if I'm on X either. So let me see if X is messed up. Let me retry X. It says an error occurred. Uh, but yeah, so I don't know why this is jacking all my stuff up. But yeah, if you want to like get my analysis during the game, X or Twitter is probably the best place to do it. I'm very active on there, and that's where I kind of fire off most of my thoughts. So let me see if I can edit. Let's just do this on Twitter real quick. Sorry for this, man. I don't know why it's doing this. Just try and get this done here. So if you're listening on the podcast at some point, I'm sure you're probably annoyed with the bad quality of talk, but I'm just looking at this here. I'm looking for X. All right, cool. We're on X. We're on Instagram. We're good. And they suspended me from TikTok Live again. I don't know why they do that. I guess TikTok must have some rules where maybe it's some of the audio I play you can't play it. But yeah. So I mean, thoughts from the game, man. I'm blessing, bro. I'm big blessing. Definitely enjoyed it. You know, it's tough with preseason. There's a couple things to keep in mind. It's the same as training camp, really, which I've been preaching on offense. I know a lot of us, like, you can only go off with what you have and what you see. And, like, a lot of people think the offense is terrible. O-line's terrible. CJ's terrible. It's like, the same stuff applies, especially like in the scheming element. Like, you're not scheming for your defense in practice. You're not scheming up teams in preseason. Like, the approach is the same. Like, you're using these opportunities to, work on your stuff, your basics, especially offensively, like your core fundamentals. I guess defense kind of is too, but so it's important to remember those things when we kind of, and we're prisoners of the moment. You only have so much to look at, so every play is like the biggest thing in the world. But at least when you go in a preseason game, it's a different environment. It's not a defense that's seen your offense over and over again. And so obviously a lot of the starters didn't play. I really enjoyed that part of it. Let me just hit some comments real quick before I kind of dive in, just to kind of acknowledge you guys. Jordan says first impressions of Ursery. Big blessing, man. He balled out, dude. And then Ja Wick says, how did you guys like the play calling? I liked it. So like I was saying, I mean, the play calling's dumbed down. It's going to be like your core principles, but I'll pull it up here. But the, touchdown to Braxton Berrios was the same play call I broke down at training camp when I got a clip of the video board of Kate Stover making a catch, I believe, for a touchdown as well. But it's a common popular concept called slither, where the times we've ran it's been play action, but basically like the receiver or tight end will leak out backwards and they slither underneath the line of scrimmage, so they'll use the entire line of scrimmage as like a massive pick to go through. And then the guy covering him up here has to go through all that, all the O-line, all the backers to get to him. And it's like a mesh play without another receiver, but you're meshing with the O-line, D-line, linebackers. And he was wide open. And a big part of the reason why it worked was because the run game was working. And a big reason why the run game worked is because we ran gap scheme. I talk about it on here all the time. Like, and it sounds like so simple, but like it kind of is. Like I talked about it all last season. Like our O linemen are bigger, more mauler downhill run blocking guys that are better for gap scheme, not the wide zone we ran with the Shanahan scheme with Slowick, where you're out in space, running lateral, being cerebral. No, it's hey, block the guy in front of you, or hey, duo, double team this guy, and then once you get him, go up to the next level. And so I have said and hoped that Kaylee would project to run more of it. He's mentioned it. You hear all the O linemen like in interviews, Titus Howard talking about being a downhill, powerful running team, running more gap scheme, and we saw it. And even then, like the starting 5 O linemen we had 2 guys that are out. Cam Robinson, who was a starting, left tackle, which who knows, that may change if Ursery keeps balling at left tackle. And Titus Howard, probably like our best and most consistent O lineman right now currently. They were not in. So, you had the starting 5 O linemen that looked great on that first drive with Mills was Ursery at left tackle. You had Juice Scruggs at left guard. Juice Scruggs looked good. He's better in a gap scheme. He's just blocked the guy in front of you. Instead of asking him to do all this, fancy stuff, center Jake Andrews balled out. Right guard, we had Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram looked good. Ed Ingram, everyone's been shitting on him and like, oh, you signed Ed Ingram. And first off, he wasn't even starting. He didn't start until the injury to Cam Robinson happened, which forced Titus from right guard to right tackle and then Ursery to left tackle. And so Ed Ingram and Scruggs were the ones kind of sharing reps with the ones for the past couple of days at right guard. And we saw in practice when the scrimmage where they were running the ball up the middle with Nick Chubb, running these gap schemes. And so, again, that's why I said, too, like the guys that we got, like Ed Ingram, Laken Tomlinson, Cam Robinson, like everyone wants to shit on them. Like, oh, they suck. Like, yeah, they may have not played good last year. It's a different scheme, different environment. Like, you can't just extrapolate, whatever you saw there and say it's going to happen here. Like now, like who knows? They might have ran more of zone concepts with those guys and didn't run something that was conducive to their skill sets, putting them in the best position to succeed. And Ed Ingram has been balling, dude. So, and then at right tackle was Blake Fisher. So we had 2 guys in there that aren't starters, and they still look great. And then I don't know the exact mix for the Vikings as far as what their defense was as starters and not starters, but I believe they played a decent amount of starters on defense. I mean, they played a decent amount on offense, so you would think that they would have done the same on defense. But regardless, I mean, they look great. So let me just kind of get through some more of the comments. Jawick says, I know it's a small sample. Yeah, I mean, it went how I thought it's going to be. Like, and, people think I'm crazy for being high in the O-line, saying, like, I'm very confident they can be an average O-line, top 15. And I'm very confident that we can be a top 10 offense. You saw how it works. Like, the offense worked exactly how they've been saying they want it to work. We want to start with the run game, power run game, run downhill. And, what I didn't see any of today? I don't think there was one the entire game, a tackle for loss on runs. Whereas last year, we probably led the league in TFLs on run plays, especially on first and second down. So now, and this is what I've been preaching. Like, hey, it's not flashy, but you see how, like, in the end where it breaks the dam. So, like, you're getting, 2 to 5 yards a pop on running as opposed to -3 to 2. And so now it's, you're getting short yardage on second down and third down. And the run game was dominant. Dare Ogunbowale, who's not really known as a great running back per se, running the ball. He's decent. Like, he's known for more of his third down receiving, pass blocking, which kind of regressed last year. But he looked like an all-pro running back. Again, it's preseason. You don't know who he's going against. But still, I mean, that's just an example of, like, what good interior blocking can do. And so, yeah, like, they couldn't stop the run, and that's what we want to do is just, hey, run the ball modestly. We didn't really rip off, a 70-yard run. We had, maybe a couple 8 to 10-yard runs, but we were consistently getting positive yardage, moving the chains, and now they can't stop the run. And then you catch them at the right time with play action, boom, touchdown. It's like, that's going to be the offense. It's going to create explosives that way. And also, too, just like, I'm kind of just rambling thoughts as we go, but, like, I observed it. It was, I wrote an article before, like, a lot of the stuff I was looking for that I wanted to happen, that I thought would happen, and like wanted to check on. It did happen. Is the multitude of personnel packages that Nick Caley deployed, and that's something he talked about. And I know some people initially didn't like it, but like we're going to be a multiple offense. We can run 4 wide, which I saw today. We can go 3 wide and a tight end, which is 11 personnel, or we can go 2 wide, 2 tight ends, or we can go 2 wide, tight end, 2 running backs. We saw fullbacks a lot. Jakob Johnson played great. He was a big part of the run game. So like we're not this one dimensional, and it's not a bad thing that you don't have a true identity where like, okay, like you need to be a wide zone offense. Like, no, we saw how that works. It's actually the opposite. Like if you hone in on one thing too much, it's terrible. So yeah, we can hit you at all different angles. We can, depending on the scenario of the game, down and distance, up or down, depending on the defense we're playing that week, depending on injuries, depending on matchups, we can do all kind of stuff. And so I noticed that with Nick Caley, man. And then engineer said the glaring issue was Blake. Noel looked electric. Ursery did very well. Higgins had a catch. So I'll just rattle off some comments as fast as I can so that I don't, I like to keep people engaged. I know how it is when I watch. Like I want to be acknowledged and talked to. So JJ Sugar on YouTube, Ursery a dog. Facts. Jordan, first impression of Ursery, dog. Engineer, I only pay attention to the starters. The Vikings played many of their starters on the first drive. Yep. Beyond that, preseason becomes useless. Starters losing second and third. Yeah, I mean, it's good for us, that want to watch the bubble watch too. But, it's also tough to get a true evaluation on some of the guys that are in there with second and third stringers because, you have to rely on other second and third stringers doing their job to make you look good. Like if you're the quarterback, you need no line to block, or running back, you need a line to block, or O-line. You need the running back to make a good run to look good blocking, or if you're a receiver, you need a good quarterback to throw the ball. So there's a lot of stuff that happens where you have a lot more drop off and inconsistency. And you got guys that haven't had chemistry that have practiced together. I'll get into Mertz. Like I thought, obviously he threw 3 picks. I don't think his day was as bad as people think for some of those reasons I pointed. And then, so Space says wasted a 6th-round pick. No, we did not. I do not think we did. I don't think that he played as bad as people think. It's probably a hot take, but I thought he did some good things. Zenthu, D'Amico should let some starters play next week. That's my guess. So, he pretty much has a way of doing things and is pretty consistent with the way he does things. If you look at like years prior, obviously last year was different with the Hall of Fame game, extra game. But, I would suspect that this next game may be the one we see the most, but it's also with a joint practice next week too. So depending on how hard they go in that joint practice, you may not want too much of that in that preseason game. But typically, like if there's 4, I believe it's just 3 now preseason games. It used to be if you had 4 was the number, like the third game for most teams was the game that the starters played like a half. But I guess the third game now is basically the second game. So I would assume more play from the starters. And then like the last game is when it's like, all right, all backups, y'all fighting for the last spots. Y'all figure it out. And then engineer says Ursi was going up against Dallas Turner as well. Yeah, that was a good matchup. Dallas Turner, former 1st-round pick, right? And then 119 dozen on YouTube as of today. Fish doesn't make the 53. And I'm going to look into his injury history because something is off. His body didn't improve from 2024 that I can see. Yeah, it's odd. And I was talking with someone on my Twitter feed about Fisher is like, did he really regress? And I think it's yes. And maybe it's our expectations are higher and maybe he's under a bigger microscope. I mean, last year he wasn't a world beater. I think also last year when he played at right tackle for however many those games were, I think he got beat, but like things were so bad before that like our perspective was like, we'll take this. So some of it could be is now like we got more depth and better options, but we're not, putting up with it. And then you expect someone to improve year 1 to year 2. I know some people have speculated like that kind of follow on social media. And I'm not saying this is true or not, but it could be part of it is it seemed like he was out and about all summer, all off season. Maybe he wasn't locked in. I mean, who knows? Or maybe he's injured. Who knows? But yeah, it sucks that he could be a potential cut. I mean, I don't think you could cut a 2nd-round pick. But I mean, the way he's performing, it's tough too because, we saw this and heard reports in camps, false starts getting beat. And then what we saw happen in the game. So it's like, oh, damn, he is playing bad. So that's kind of confirmed. It's definitely concerning. And I pointed that out today. Our tackle depth is concerning because Cam Robinson's hurt. So hopefully it doesn't seem major. He's back. But, after that, Zach Thomas played left tackle. The times that I noticed him and watched him, he didn't play good. He got beat 2 or 3 times that I saw, had a false start. So, that's concerning, but so we need Cam Robinson back is what I was saying, and we need Trent Brown back. If we have them, we're good. We got 4 solid tackles: Titus, Ursary, Cam, Trent. And then Blake Fisher, keep you, figure it out. Shit, who knows? Maybe move him to guard. I mean, it might be that point where like, hey, do we change your position? DQ, salute. The O-line looked better, in my opinion. Facts, I agree. Karma, thoughts on the wasted Graham Merce pick? He was the worst QB in the SEC, LOL. I don't think it's wasted. I don't think he was very impressive in the SEC. But from what I saw the 2 days I was at training camp, I was impressed. And then today, I'll talk about that now. I guess Graham Mertz, real quick, let me get to some IG comments. Shout out IG. We got 12 people tuning in. So going back to the top on IG, let's see. We got TXS Rubio, Anish Mago. Hey, Stressins, what's up, man? And then we got Braden. I heard the first drive was crazy. Didn't get to watch because I was at work. How did it go? It went awesome. We ran the ball down the middle and just moved the chains. And then let's see what else we got. Darian Griffin, Stressins, my guy. Shout out Darian on IG. We have a lot of good combos on IG. Thanks for tuning in. Scrooston Sports, think the O-line held decent. I agree. Flame XCI, Berrios moves like a cat. Facts. So I had a lot of dubs today. I've been saying the O-line. I mean, it's again, I'm being a hypocrite saying not to overreact to, training camp. I'm overreacting to preseason, but I feel like it's, a more viable thing to look at, and we can actually see it. Like, we're not just guessing based off reports. Like, we can all, watch it. But I've been saying Berrios, like, as soon as we signed Berrios, I said the writing's on the wall for John Mechie. And like most people have kind of just overlooked the signing. He's a scrub. Like, the dude's coming off ACL, but like my whole argument is he's a veteran receiver. He's been in this New England offense. He's been in offenses where he knows how to be the adjuster. So he has the mental side down. He's athletic. He's good. He's underrated. Like, he's had some good moments. He just hasn't quite had his career pop off the way he would hope. But and then like the big, distinguishing factor. So I've been arguing too is like he's not as bad at receiver as people think athletically, which we saw today. He's a dog. He's gritty. He's grimy. Like that. Like, he scored that touchdown. I feel like a lot of receivers might have gotten stuck short, but like he stuck his nose in there, took a hit, popped up, and was fine. And he's like, but he's very cerebral as a receiver too. I think a couple of those catches, I don't know for sure, but just like firsthand watching it, I feel like he was the slot or adjuster and was given the option to run a route based off leverage. And I feel like he had a couple catches based off that. We'll see. It might have been his design route to begin with, and that's a big part of it too. And so in this offense, communication is key. Being on the same page with the quarterback as far as making the right reads. Which when I'm going to talk about Mertz, like the 2 picks I saw with Mertz were miscommunications, and I feel like they were both the receiver's fault. I mean, that can be up for debate, and I can watch the film to look at it. But the first one was more of like a backyard broken play, communication. But that's like, all right, hey, you're the receiver. It was Xavier Johnson. He's rolling. Mertz is rolling out left, and Xavier Johnson is going with him. But as Xavier Johnson is going toward the sideline, there's defenders in the sideline here, and there's defenders behind him, and he gets in a window right here. And Mertz is thinking, okay, hey, dude, like stop in the hole, like in the soft spot. It's different when it's a scramble drill, but the same stuff applies. Like, hey, you're open, sit down. And so Mertz was hoping he would sit down, try to throw it to his back shoulder. He kept going, and the ball just went straight back. So it looks like he just airmailed it. But that's what I saw. And John Harris, who is very smart, and John Harris is awesome on the broadcast. I wish we could like have an alternative channel where he's allowed to be on a broadcast all year, because he knows ball and he's like very astute too, like on observations, catching things. So, but he called that out right away. He pointed it out. I was like, yes, I saw the same thing. Like, I agree. So, that was a miscommunication, but that's not really the offense. That's just like backyard ball and just knowing in general, hey, soft spot, sit down. Again, I could be wrong. That's my take on it. And then the other one was the other pick he threw. The second one was, I believe it was Daniel Jackson, and he was the outside receiver who, I believe they did like a twist where basically the inside receiver, outside receiver, did like I forget what they call the release, where you basically a switch release with the two of them, and he kind of got caught behind defenders, and I think his route was a go route, which based off the safeties, you can bend it. So like if it's two safeties and you have a go route in the slot, you bend it in the middle. Because think about it, if you have two high safeties and you're right here and you're supposed to run a go route, then you go away from them, right? And so pre-snap, it was two high safeties. So he probably thought, okay, hey, two high safeties pre-snap, I'm going to run a bender. But once he, had his release, the safety rolled. And so now it's a one high safety. And if you're in the slot, so he was outside, but after his release, he did a switch release with the inside guy. He basically became the slot receiver at that point. And again, this is what I saw. I'm pretty sure it's what happened, but I'll confirm when I watch all 22. But regardless, like this, if this is what it is, this is accurate. Like this is for most offenses. So if you're the slot receiver, which he's acting as now, and you have a vertical and it's too high, you bend it. It makes sense. You don't run into a defender. But if it's one high, you stay up the seam away from him. And that's where Mertz threw it. And then Jackson bent it. And then it looks like, oh, what is Mertz doing? He just air melted. And so that's my take on those two. I also think, too, I need to see it again, but my initial instinct was the first 3rd and long he had to Luke Lachey. It was a tight window. He forced it, and I think it looks like he threw a perfect ball, and it went through his hands. And it was to convert a 3rd and 10. He was right at the sticks. So that was a bad break. Y'all probably don't care about this. Y'all probably don't want to hear this, and people probably disagree. And then the other one, too, was the next 3rd and long he had was he threw a go ball to Mechie. I think he underthrew it, but Mechie was open. He came back to the ball, still had a chance to make the play. And it's tough to call a drop, but you can call that a drop. But I would argue more so like either you catch it or you need to have the savviness to say, hey, like I got this guy beat, the ball's underthrown, run back through the defender. That's a PI all day. If you just ran into him like this, it's a PI. So there were 2 third downs that should have been converted that he got let down by receivers. 2 picks that I think that were on the receivers. And then his last pick was, I don't know if you blame him or not, but he made the right read. And John Harris on all of these said exactly what I'm saying too. So if you disagree with me, go talk to John. He said the same thing. He said miscommunication. He didn't go into detail on the seam bender, but he's like, this looks like a miscommunication, like 2 guys, same spot, whatever. But on the other one that I'm talking about for the 3rd pick that got tipped, so I don't know if you blame him, but it looks like, the right tackle, it looks like the guy did like a JJ Watt play and just peeled off the edge and just got back and got a hand on it. So I don't know if that's just bad luck. I don't know if you expect him to read that the DN dropped and I can't fit this window, but he made the right read to throw the slant. It's got tipped and picked. So maybe you can put that on him a little bit more. But anyways, I mean, again, it's still early. And, the big thing is the communication piece that we've talked about all camp. And now he's going with guys he doesn't have a lot of chemistry with, so it's tough for him, for them to make that work. So maybe I don't care about that, but I got the Graham Mertz stuff out of the way, so that's good. And then Screwson says, yeah, Daria had good holes to run in for sure. And then CH that on IG says, I can't say his name. I wish Davis Mills didn't overthrow Stover in that long TD. So that was another play to me that was a miscommunication. Like, again, I don't know for sure, but like when you could see what you could see in the replay, Mills thought he was running a corner route and Stover was kind of like turned around like he was doing something weird. So that was a miscommunication. That was not a bad throw. Like, it looks like a bad throw, whether it was Mills' fault or Stover's fault. It wasn't a bad throw. It was a miscommunication. So I've been preaching that too. Like, that's what we're going to see. That's what we've seen in camp. We'll continue to see it, especially now when you get, Mills in there. Now you get Mertz in there and Slovis in there. Maybe it's not going to be as bad with Stroud, but you're going to see these things, and it's going to look like the quarterback looks terrible, but that's not what's going on. So, and then, yeah, Screwson said O-line did good. Gabe said EJ Speed had a pretty good debut. EJ Speed, I'll get into that's my guy. Berrios, I've been stumping for, and I guess I didn't finish my thought on that, but Berrios, the receiving side, underrated, savvy, smart, athletic. His big thing is, his returning ability. We didn't see a lot of it today, but like former All-Pro kick returner just a couple years back. Now the kick return rules this year, they changed the rules for safety, and then they changed it, to entice more returns, and it didn't happen. And then now they, want more return. They changed it to reduce returns for safety, and then there was two less, and then they changed the rules again to try and work to make more returns. Didn't work. And then the next move was okay, which is this year is if you have a touchback, it goes instead of the 30, it goes to the 35. So that extra 5 yard is much more penalizing. So now the kick return is very important, and he's a great kick returner. He's also a punt returner. He may not be as more of a home run on punt return, but there is value in that savvy, reliable, trustworthy returner. Like we've seen it, where you've had issues, guys muffing punts or making the wrong decision, fair catch and not fair catch, and this or that. So he can be the conservative guy that you need in a certain spot to make sure we don't mess it up. And if you want the home run hitter, you can put in Noel or Kirk. So that's my last thing on him there. I'll get to speed in a minute. And then product of the H, the small sample we got was already a big improvement from last season. Facts, shout out product of the H. And then Eric on IG, is Xavier Hutchinson the next Larry Fitz? Dude, Xavier Hutchinson has been balling, dude. I never really formalized it, but I was kind of hating on him last year, but never really said it out loud, in my mind, oh, he's not that good. And then he stepped up big in the playoff game against the Chiefs. Down the stretch, he played decent, and he had a big play in the Chargers game too. So, but he's had a great camp. He's going to make the roster. I think that he also benefits from playing in this scheme where it's, bigger bodies. They clearly value bigger bodies on the outside. Nico, Higgins, Hutch, Watson, the outside receivers, they like bigger bodies. He's going to benefit from it. He's been playing great, and he will be pivotal to this offense. And the other part of it too is those guys can block. They can get in there and mix it up. So, Hutch is balling, dude. I love to see it. And then Jockington 700 says, what do you think about the people complaining about Mercer's performance? I just covered it. I get it. I mean, that's my analysis. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's being overdone. He didn't play nearly as bad as what people thought. And who knows, could be wrong. Also, too, it's early. You shouldn't just be saying we're done with him. No. And obviously they traded up to get him. They saw something in him. Pat on IG, first drive was a blessing for real. Line held up. D Mills played pretty good. Facts. And so Davis Mills too. I've been saying this. All my agendas in the small sample size today was a pretty good win, except for Mertz for most people's perception. And I didn't really push that as much, but I've thought Mertz is I've been calling him a baller. But Davis Mills, it's a pretty polarizing subject. Some fans think he's the worst. Trade him. I think he's great. I've always been high on him. I think he's a top 3 backup in the league, could start for a handful of teams. He balled out. He had control of the offense, so we talk about having control of the offense with Stroud. These quarterbacks today were also able to do that. You don't change it just because a new quarterback's there. So Mills was able to command the offense. He was able to ID the mic. He was able to check in and out of plays. There was a time, I think John Harris mentioned it, where Mills canned a play and went to the next play and made the read based off the defense. Even the backup quarterbacks were doing that. So the players are empowered in this offense, and Mills thrived in it. He benefited heavily from good O-line play. So a couple more on IG. Let's see what we got. Damn it, Montez says Astros medical staff on their way to check up on the Texans IR. Oh, speaking of Astros, I got my shirt in. I bought my own shirt, the Correa It's Time shirt. Check it out on HoustonStresses.com. Just came in just a minute ago. I'm going to try to go to the game against Boston this week. And that game today was rough. Astros game yesterday was awesome. But today was rough. The one thing I feel like the Astros, they always kind of piss me off with, and maybe it's just baseball in general, but I feel like they have to be one of the worst teams in the league at getting runners home from third base with less than 2 outs. And oftentimes it's with bases loaded, but and we always strike out. I know it's easier said than done, but just put the ball in play, man. I mean, I think we did it a couple times yesterday, and it cost us. You lose by 1 run. It's all right, that's 2 runs right there. I know it's not 100% rate you convert, but come on. Trey Flax, Barry's a vet and will route better. Yes, the veteran part is a huge part of it. Screwson Sports, Mertz will likely not make the roster. Yeah, I don't know if they'll even keep 3 quarterbacks. I mean, I had him above Keaton Slovis through camp so far as QB3, but Slovic, well, I'm having a brain fart. Slovis, I believe is his name, and now I just don't trust my own information. But Slovis played good today. I thought Slovis looked good, man. And again, some people say like he played bad. Like, I thought he played good. Slovis looked good. What else we got on IG? John B says they sleeping on him. Facts. So yeah, like I've 3 guys, and like I guess at a certain point, I like claim everybody's underrated. It's like, all right, so you could say that, of course, if you say it all the time. But I've said Berrios will make the roster, but underrated. Like as soon as we signed him, EJ Speed, I said he's underrated. He's going to compete for a starting spot as soon as we signed him. And then Darrell Taylor's been an underrated signing for me. He didn't really flash a lot today. He got hurt but came back. He seemed to be fine. I'll get to EJ Speed in a second. Let's see what else we got on IG. John B says, I'm not John Harris, but I know ball. Facts. Let's go. What else are we missing on here? Just make sure I don't want to miss any, good comments. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and engaging. It means that like this is what I like is, the back and forth. So if I don't answer a comment, just hang around. Don't feel like you have to leave. Or if you're on IG and it's kind of hard to stay within the app, hop over to YouTube or X and you can just do a picture-in-picture, or you can just watch later on YouTube or X or on Spotify or Apple. So let's see what else we got. Okay, I'm caught up on there. Let me get back to the main chat. My OGs on YouTube. Space Age says Mills played well. Facts. JJ Sugar, as long as we never, ever have to have a situation where we have Graham on the field. He played so bad. I honestly was expecting that level of play from a QB, to be honest. I address it. I don't think it was as bad as – I don't think he played as bad as people think. That's my take. Michael Slattery, I missed the game. How's the O-line looking and the rookie receiver teammates? O-line looks great. Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel look good. Jalen Noel, bro, he had a simple screen pass that most receivers would have gotten tackled at the line of scrimmage at. Caught it, fought through traffic, bounced off a guy, got like 10, 12 yards on like a dead play. That dude, like he's got vision, he's got burst, like he was like quick, he's twitchy, and he's physical. Like he ran this dude over. Like he's special, man. And Higgins, he didn't really get like a big play, but he had 2 or 3 catches. And there was a couple where you could see him using his big frame. Like, I saw one of his catches on the sideline. I was like, who's this tight end? 81. Like, oh shit, that's Higgins. He looks like a tight end. Like his frame, like he's huge. Yeah, they look good, man. We got weapons. We got options. Ja Wick, I feel completely confident with Mills behind center. Knock on wood, if CJ sideline. I do too. I felt that way last year. Like, I said it last year. Like, obviously you don't want that to happen, but I was like, we could win playoff games with Mills at center even last year. Definitely this year. I'm with you on that. Jordan Dare for sure makes the roster, right? He has to. I mean, I kind of thought initially he might be on the bubble, but it's like, all right, yeah, the special teams alone. And you hear them talk about him like he's the swarm guy. Like I can't just see them getting rid of him because of that. And then now he does that. Like, he's not a bad back. The one thing that he needs to be good at is the pass protection. So, again, last year we all focused on the O-line just being terrible, but it wasn't just them in pass pro that was bad. It was the tight ends and the running backs, which a lot of it was the scheme and coaching. But that's going to be paramount. If you're a running back and you can't figure out the mental side of it, then you're screwed. So on that note, Woody Marks, the rookie, was excellent today in pass pro. That will keep him on the field. And Jawar Jordan had a couple of plays. I noticed one where he just like almost tackled a guy. So, but really it's not even like the physical. I think it's the mental. Like I've noticed some clips from practice where pressures have happened and people say, oh, the O-line sucks. And it's the freaking running back's fault. Like the running back is basically getting the last defender when they blitz. So like he has to be the one to sift through it all and know who to take or most dangerous, stuff like that. So that's a very critical part that we need to focus on for running backs. But Jordan says initial thoughts after tonight and seeing the split. How do you handle the rest of the RB room? I mean, I don't know. I think it's 4 or 5, but I mean, you got it's RB1's Mixon, RB2 is Chubb. That's not going to change. Like the Chubb talk, I'm not having it. Like he's still the guy. Like he's a power back. We saw how this offense looked. Could you imagine Chubb running in those holes today and running up the middle? he would have been punishing people today. And we saw it in the scrimmage when he balled out, when we started running, gap scheme up the middle with Ed Ingram at guard and Scruggs at guard. Anyways, and then Woody Marks to me, RB3. And from there, it's like, I think Dare is a special teamer. And then if we need to have him on the field, maybe he could be that RB3 for a little bit until Woody, if he is, catching up. It sucked for Woody as far as running the ball. He didn't have the same O line, and he didn't get the holes that obviously Dare was getting. So it's tough to knock him for that. I'd like to see him with some good run blocking, see how he looks. But as far as Jawar Jordan, I thought he looked good today. I saw he had a punt return, which he muffed, so that could probably hurt him. It's good to see that like he's trying special teams. I know he was a kick returner. I don't know if he's returned punts before, but hopefully that doesn't hurt his chances to make the team. It's already going to be hard regardless. But Jawar Jordan, to me, he is someone who is a smaller back, but he runs physical. Like he almost he's really good in this gap scheme. Like he hits it downhill. Like he just makes his decision and goes. So I think that would be the mix there is basically those four guys getting in the mix. Could change, but I think, the top three, and then I kind of changed my opinion to Dare today. Like he impressed, and he's also a viable special teamer. So like he could eat into that RB3 role some, but I still think it's Mix and Chubb, Marks, and then Dare. But then you have Jawar Jordan. It's going to be tough. JJ Taylor, who's not bad. It's going to be tough. I mean, it's probably not even a question. And then British Brooks, what's his role? He didn't get any snaps at running back. Is he going to be a fullback? He's good at special teams. Shout out British Brooks. The Bulldog had another massive hit today. I'll play the clip here in a minute. Just like last year, blew up a guy in kickoff. So, and then, it depends on how you look at it too. If you consider the fullbacks part of the RB room or part of the tight end room. So Jakob Johnson, like I mentioned, he's going to make the roster, dude. He's vital to this offense. Armando Guerrera, Berrios look good out there, better than Mechie. Yeah, and so Mechie had a good day. But there's a couple things. One, he's already he can continue to make plays and stuff, but there's also the part of we've already seen you for 3 years, despite all the circumstances that he's gone through. But now you bring someone else in, it's they get more of a fresh start than you, because how much is someone going to change? And he had a good day. He made good catches. He was consistent, tough catches. Didn't really flash, but he had a good day. He made catches. I mentioned that one, where it could have been considered a drop or he could have gotten a PI, but I still suspect he's not as sharp as a Berrios with the mental side of it, reading a defense. And that's what it comes down to is trustworthiness and reliability. And then the special teams, he's a non-factor on special teams. He's trying to do special teams now. I believe he returned a punt today or a kick return, but I feel it's going to be too little too late. And then, if you haven't been doing it, it's going to be hard to all of a sudden be elite at it. So, John says Dare definitely makes the roster. Jordan says he looks solid. Space Age. What did Mert show in college that warranted a 6th-round pick and moved up to get a guy who would have been an undrafted free agent? We're talking about a 6th-round pick. Why is everyone tripping about a 6th-round pick? And they saw something in him. I trust them. They get the benefit of the doubt. And, when they showed the video, they said I think it was, I don't know if it was Gerard Johnson or if it was Kaylee or D'Amico or Nick. And he's and then Mert said I promise you, what I told you, I got you. And so they had some kind of conversation. So, let's just wait to reserve judgment, Thomas Birnbaum, Let's Go Texans on Facebook. Gabe, EJ was a great signing. Facts, let's go. Derek Stout, I'll get to EJ Speed once I get caught up in comments. Derek Stout, I agree with the commentators. Either Hutchinson or Mechie isn't going to make it. It will be interesting to see which one they go with. I mean, it's a no-brainer that Hutchinson makes it over Mechie. I mean, Mechie's kind of stuck between being a slot receiver and being an outside receiver, and he doesn't have the experience that a Berrios has in this offense, reading a defense, or a Kirk, and then Noel, first, one of our top draft picks, 2nd round, more electric than he is. Again, special teams. Hutch has been balling, dude. Hutch is valuable. He's a valuable piece. JJ Sugar, Blake Fisher had to have not been locked in the offseason. Hard to imagine how, given you personally witnessed how bad our O-line looked. Yeah, I mean, that's like you speculate, but like, maybe that's what it is. And then Space Age, he could be cut and improve. I mean, I don't know if you cut him. That's tough. I mean, I don't know how soon you cut a second round pick. Shout out Wesley Reyes on Facebook. What's good, everyone? Brandon Hallman, my guy. Wasting a 6th or 7th round pick is like losing a nickel. No reason to complain about it. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. Primo Looks on YouTube. Shout out Primo Looks. I usually hate screens, but I wouldn't mind if Noel gets the ball. LOL. Facts. Like, I mean, that wasn't really blocked well, and he made a lot out of nothing, bro. Jordan Mertz wasn't impressive, but had one pick that wasn't a bad throw, just a bit of miscommunication. Yeah, I thought it was 2. One was clearly, I already went through that, but yeah. JJ Sugar Berrios has to make the team after today. Sorry, Mechie. I'm glad everyone's on board. I've been saying it. I agree. Shout out Jay Roberts on Facebook. Hey, we blessing. Facts. We're blessing. Space Age trying to mimic the Patriots hasn't gone well for us, in my opinion. They needed their own identity. We have our own identity. We're not the Patriots. Like, Nick Caley is adaptable. Yes, he was with the Patriots. He's also with the Rams. They also take stuff they see overall. So, like, we got to get over that. Like, there's a lot of stints from Bill O'Brien, who was, by the way, a good play caller. So we can't, we have to delineate Bill O'Brien, the play caller, from Bill O'Brien, the head coach, and especially from Bill O'Brien, the GM. But no, like, the Patriots, even if it is a carbon copy, like, that system worked. Like, it worked for years. But the biggest thing is we have a quarterback who now has command. So Mert's other pick, he footed the ball in the air. No, he did not. It was a miscommunication. He was supposed to run a seam, so he threw a seam ball, and the guy broke in. That's what happened. Let's see. 119 dozen. Mertz was a character leadership pick with a knee issue. People rave about his character. Last backup QB drafted with a knee issue, and plus intangibles turned out okay. Davis Mills. Yeah, and so you forget he had was it an ACL, right? And let's just see. DQ, the offense looks alive. Brandon Halam, anything after the 5th isn't really worth stressing over. Facts. And then Jalen Knoll is Tank Dell 2.0. I think he's different, but yeah, he's going to be a contributor. Shout out Mr. Optimistic, my guy. Salute. He said, imagine Mixon runs in the holes. Yeah, facts. That's what I said too. JJ, we have, so Mixon, dude. I said Chubb, but yeah, Mixon, bro. Like, Mixon had that year last year with like the worst run blocking, where it was wide zone, and every time he would go to the play side, it was messed up. He would just cut it back, and he would make something out of nothing. Like, now he has like actual, room to maneuver and use his power and his vision. Sugar, we have to keep Chubb, but I hate for him to go somewhere else. There's no way we don't keep him. I don't get that. Yeah, I mean, he's on the team. Like, he's going to be a contributor. I don't know why my mouse is acting all weird. Okay, let's see. And then Mr. Optimistic, scheme would be good for DP as well. Facts. So that's a good topic too. Like, you watched that. Yeah. So you watched the way, like, if you watch Dare Ogunbowale ball out, you're like, shit, like, how's Mixon going to look? How's Chubb going to look? I didn't even mention Pierce. I forgot about that in the RB room. Pierce. And so that's what we talked about, is Pierce is not a vision guy. He didn't, do well in the Slowick offense because that's patience and vision. Now it's like, hey, you just run straight downhill hard as hell, and you're going to have a crease right up the middle and then just run somebody over. Pierce could thrive in this. So I don't know what we're going to do. Like, we're going to have a loaded backfield. You're going to have Mixon, you're going to have Chubb, you're going to have Pierce, and then Marks. That's 4 guys that can tote the rock. I don't know what you do. I guess you can find a way to still keep Pierce and kick return / man, I don't know. But that's dope. I mean, you just rotate running backs in and out and just pound the rock, bro. Come on, man. Or I guess you could trade him. I don't know if you want to. But yeah, his health is definitely an issue, as Space says. He's been hurting from not being healthy. Like, hopefully he gets to play in some of these games with the O-line. Jacarius Hampton Sr. on Facebook, defense is going to be crazy this year. Facts. And we're blessing with the CJ news, man. Let's go. That was crazy. Talk about a roller coaster of emotions, man. Mr. Optimistics, I saw more McVay than McDaniels. Yeah, and it's a mix, and it can change week to week, day to day. But like, it's about the person, not the scheme. It's Caley. Like, we listened to him. We listened to CJ. We listened to the receivers. We listened to D'Amico. We listened to Nick, all talking about Kaylee. And like, you just have to trust what you hear from them and from him. And it's not just some fluff BS. Like, it's all believable and legit to me. Like, this guy knows ball. And like, you listen to his backstory, you look at his resume, like, he's it. Like, at a certain point, you have to like put a leap of faith in the person. Like, I get you can get, kind of tricked by someone like Slowick, but if you look back at it now, like, he wasn't really slick with his words. I guess we just wanted it to be true, but I guess that's what happened to me. But Hampton Senior, that CJ injury scared me. Facts. That was scary. A couple more on IG. Shout out IG. 12 on IG. Currently, that's pretty good because I know it's hard to stay on the app on there. And then John B said, I think Metch and X going to step up this year. Dre and Collins didn't step up year 4. And someone asked if DP is out. Yeah, I missed him earlier. No, I don't think he's out. He's just hurt, but I just forgot to mention him because he hasn't been playing. So, I mean, yeah, DP could definitely still have a role in this offense. So, yeah, and someone talked about Mr. Unlimited, about Chubb running through those holes. Facts. Yeah, so sorry if I'm missing some of the comments on there. It's tough to get to all of them. I wish the IG would, aggregate to here, but and if you ever have a question or a comment that I don't get to you and you like want it answered, just feel free to hit me up in any of my DMs. I'm always down to talk ball. So, and then, yeah, people asking about Mertz. I mean, I kind of went over that. I don't want to talk too much time on Mertz, but, and then, yeah, someone said the screen gave him serious BOB vibes. Yeah, I mean, hey, it worked. We'll see, But again, too, it's preseason. Like, this isn't like, they're working on things and they only have a set amount of plays that they're comfortable with certain personnel. So that's part of it too. So, and also too, like, you're not trying to open up, you're not trying to show the whole league all your playbook. Like, you're kind of holding a lot of your stuff too. Like, that's a big part of it as well. So that's something to keep in mind. I mean, that's pretty much every team in the league in the preseason. It's definitely a condensed playbook. It's like a glorified practice, but yeah. So I got to talk about EJ Speed, man. Like, that's my guy. Like, I've been pounding the table for EJ Speed, just like when we signed, Berrios. I was like, this could be bad news. This is bad news for Metch. When we signed EJ Speed, I was like, this kind of speaks to what they believe with Harris, like whether his health is messed up or what. But like, I didn't think, obviously his health has been crazy. Like, he's just getting back. So hopefully he gets back and kind of balls out. But to me, like, the initial reaction is like, oh, EJ Speed, he's just a special teamer, depth piece. Like, nah, dude. Like, the guy was a starter for 2 years with the Colts, bunch of tackles both years. And people say, oh, it's because he's on a shitty team. And so he just tackled game script. No, like, he's a baller. And he is overlooked because he was a player that came from a smaller school and was a specials teamer and worked his way up and became a starter. And like, he's the exact type of guy D'Amico likes. Like, he has a soft spot for like overlooked guys that are hungry, out to prove something. And he kind of like enjoys these projects to help develop them because they're also raw. Like, I need to learn more, but I feel like his college career, like, he may have been not a linebacker the whole time, but yeah, he balled out. The very first play of the game, kickoff, made a badass tackle, but it didn't count because there was a penalty on the other team. And then he made a badass TFL, and then he had a badass pass breakup, which people said he's bad at pass coverage. I was watching him. There was communication with him and the other backer, and they were saying, hey, I got this guy, or I got this area. And you could tell they communicated, and he stayed in his area. And when the guy came, he made the play on the ball, fought for it, finished. And then he had another hit where he laid the wood. He had a game, man. And he's playing special teams. So, like, to me, he proved himself. Like, Henry T right now is the starting outside linebacker, the will linebacker opposite of Aziz. And Harris hasn't practiced, and then EJ's been practicing, but like, EJ Speed to me just got to step up on Henry by Henry not playing and him playing, oddly enough. But that'll be interesting. At the very worst, he's a rotational linebacker, in my opinion, and we have really good depth at linebacker now, much better than last year. Nick Neiman, I thought, played well today. he is a tall, rangy guy. Like Nick Neiman, he's not bad, dude. So he's your backup Mike to Aziz. He that's a stud. That's a nice piece right there. And then Jamal Hill had a nice day. He was someone I wanted to watch. Jamal Hill, late round draft pick last year out of Oregon, who halfway through his career at Oregon switched from defensive back to linebacker. So he's raw. He's new to this position. But that being said, he's like a safety's body, speed, rangy. And now in this new age of the NFL where it's like linebackers have to cover, now he has to develop on the run game side. And I didn't quite get to see run game, but he made a couple plays, couple tackles. He made one, I believe, TFL that was impressive. And so that's exciting. That's house money right there. And I'm trying to think if I missed, and Jake Hansen, solid. I thought Jake Hansen played well. But yeah, I'm pumped about EJ. He actually quote tweeted my tweet. So I had a tweet. I'll show it later. I'll go to the timeline here in a minute, but let's see here. Let's keep going on the comments. My mouse is like glitching out today. It's crazy. All right. So CJ GJ News had me stressing. Facts. And then J Robert speed looked good out there today. I agree. Mr. Optimistic. I don't think necessarily think EJ affects Harris's roster spot. I think he will see more rotation at the position. I mean, I think it does. Like if Harris hasn't played and then he comes back and he's struggling, you're not going to me, they have signaled, we're not waiting on anybody, regardless of who you are, potential, all this stuff. Like, so like all the guys in that same draft class to me are in the same boat. Like you had Mechie, they could have been like, no, we're good. We got Mech. We don't need somebody. They signed Berrios. So like, all right, okay. And even DP, like they could have been good. Like, nah, we're good. We got DP. And we signed Chubb. It's like, hey, like you're on notice. Like obviously, it depends, but like he's one notch down right now from what he was. And then so I think DP and Harris are similar because they've been injured, but I mean they're also similar because they've had flashes and then not good. They've been inconsistent, but like we can't just go off a hype or a potential. Like we need like top tier production at every position now. Like we're all the way in, and they only got 1 year left. Like to me, I believe you're creating more competition, but like if he's not back or if he comes back and he's struggling, like we're not waiting on anybody, bro. Like the time is now. So, I mean, I think it can. I think we have to wait and see, obviously, how it shakes out for him when he comes back. We've seen his high highs, but my whole thesis on the Harris thing stems from last year. He was hurt, but he came back last year and played. You can argue he still wasn't healthy or hurt, but like, if you're out there, you're good, especially with the Texans. They don't play hurt players. And he played special teams in the playoffs. He got beat out by Henry To'oTo'o. So, I mean, you can argue, game shape, not reps, but like if you're this freak that everyone's saying you are, if you're that dude and you come back, you would take that spot. Like if it was Dre Greenlaw and he was out, he would have taken that spot. So like that's my logic. I could be wrong, but we have to see it, but it's a good thing. We have a lot of competition, so it'll sort itself out. But like, I was more so on the side that like, he wasn't just some fluff sign. We brought him in to compete to start. Like we didn't bring him in just to be a special teamer. Like, no, like he has the chance to push to start. And I think he's just as good, if not better than Henry and Christian Harris, in my opinion. And that's based off of Christian Harris's health and his inconsistency. Like he's had some high highs, but like overall, it's not great. Like he hasn't been a consistent player. And consistency is something they talk about all the time. Yeah. And so John B says that's the honest truth about DP, Mech, and Harris. Yeah. And so that's what I learned about D'Amico. Once he fired and he turned a page, bro. So like we were in this early, rebuild developmental phase, but like he smells blood in the water. Like we're ahead of schedule rather than be like, oh, cool, we're ahead of schedule. Like, nah, like we got a chance. Like let's seize the moment now. Like he's aware of, this, the severity of like what this is. Like, he sees the opportunity. He's not just like, oh no, we're good. We're ahead of like, no, like we're going for it all, bro. Like, and he was like, we were worried about him being Mr. Nice Guy and having favorites and playing favoritism. But like, as soon as he fired Bobby Slowick, his supposed best friend, that told me like this dude has like he's flipped the switch. Like none of this shit like that we thought about, like, favoritism, patience, like that's out the door, bro. And then the next thing was, oh, Shaq Mason, like, they started him late in the year last year over Juice Scruggs, even though that he sucked all year. And like, oh, he did that because he plays favorites. Cut him. Like, all right, okay, yeah, he ain't fucking around. Kenyon Green, trade his ass. Like, okay, like he's serious. Like he's not playing, bro. Like, um, it's all about the now. So that's my logic on that. Um, yeah, and so Ledesma says EJ looked good, but Henry on top of him, in my opinion. Pause. Yeah, I mean, it's one game, so I'm freaking out. Like it's definitely changed the trajectory. So like I like to make predictions or projections. And so when you do that, you can be bold and sound potentially dumb, but like you also have to, what you think is going to happen, you have to say it early, and it's going to take time to get there. But I also like make a prediction or projection based off of stuff that I've seen or look at, and I think it's going that way. I did it with Berrios. It sounded crazy all year until today. Now it doesn't sound crazy. So, and I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I just my way my brain works. So, I guess it's sports talk. You make predictions, and this is fun. We like talking about it. So, uh, Landon Hale, I have a bad feeling we will not re-sign Dell since we drafted 2 receivers this year. I do not want to address that topic, but yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to have 1 year left. It's coming off injury. I don't even want to think about this whole thing, but yeah, nah, I'm not going to address it. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Brandon Halam, it's surprising to see how tall Speed is out there. Dude, he's like got these like hunched up shoulders too. Like he's got some traps on him, bro. Yeah, so Screw says Kenyon Moon wasn't a shock at all, though. Yeah, facts. I mean, I probably should have clarified that, but that was probably like the lowest on my point there. But my point is that yes, you know, he's kind of like either he was a certain type of way and learned and evolved, or we just assume that. But to me, D'Amico's gone rogue and like he wants it all, bro. Like, and he's shown to us that like anybody is, expendable at any time, and that's good. Like that was something I was concerned about with him, and it turns out he's not like that. Primo says, "Got to go to Walmart and pick up that CJ Stroud shampoo and conditioner." LMAO. Facts. I partnered up with the Jams company that him and Micah did. They like sent me some of their stuff. It's pretty dope. It's pretty good. Like an affiliate program. So y'all should check those out too. Landon Hale, it all depends on the O line. I don't see much improvement. I saw a lot of improvement today. You have to look at just the O-line that was out there that was the ones, but not even the ones really, and they look great. That was the best O-line play we've seen in years. Again, one small sample size preseason, but still, it's not a bad thing. JJ Sugar, I kept telling peeps our linebacker room is underrated. Everyone outside of the Texans fans would acknowledge our elite defense, but claim our linebacker room was the weak spot. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, like if you had to say one position group was the weak spot, it would probably be between, obviously, there's only so many position groups, linebacker room and interior D line. I would lean more interior D line, but it's like, it's hard to pick. I mean, but yeah, so I've said on here, like, I've kind of come to this realization recently. The linebacker room and the tight end room are very similar in the sense that, like, they're underrated and they got sneaky depth and they got pieces. They both have, a variety of skill sets of guys that can do different things good. Like you may not have in each one of them, you may not have a Fred Warner and you may not have a Rob Gronkowski, but you have solid depth and guys that can do all kind of stuff. And to me, that's not bad. It's the same approach to me, like philosophy with the O-line. Like last year we had LT and whatever else, but now it's like, okay, now we have like just above average, good all around, and then some. Like to me, that's way better. Like instead of being top heavy, like just solid all around, as opposed to elite and bad, that's way better. And that's kind of how the tight end room and the linebacker room is, in my opinion. Like we don't have like elite, but we got like damn good and a lot of it. Like I'll take that. Shout out Jerome. Hey everyone. Said they couldn't watch the game. How was Woody Marks? He did good. He didn't really get a chance to showcase too much, but he was great in pass blocking. And then engineer trading Laramie told that's the one he traded Laramie Tunsil. That's who I meant to say. when he traded Laramie, that was the next domino. It was Slowick and then Laramie. That was when I was like, this motherfucker is not playing around. Like anyone can go at any time. Thank you, engineer. Yes, he says that's when it told me they were killers. That was probably the biggest domino to prove my point there. But let's just scroll through the timeline. Like, again, I like the organic, just kind of not staging stuff, just talking about everything and kind of interweaving. I guess if y'all do have feedback on that, like, it started out from me just being lazy and not wanting to show prep, but it's also like me like being OCD and like wanting to read every comment. Would y'all like a more structured show better, or is it good this way where it's just kind of flow in and out of topics and kind of talk, with the convo, with the comments and kind of, hit on all the topics there? I understand like it could be annoying because like I'll start on a topic and then see a comment and kind of like may take a while to finish a thought, but I feel like this approach is different and unique and it's more organic and engaging. So that's why I do it. But anyhow, I will share my timeline. And yeah, like always, if you're on YouTube, like the video, subscribe, YouTube, I'm at Texans Commenter or Houston Stressins on everything: X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Please, subscribe or follow or whatever on all of them, even if you don't use them. And if you don't mind too, if you can go to Apple and Spotify, Second Guessing We're Stressing podcast, and just leave a review or follow or subscribe just to help me out. And then my website, we can look at it later too, which is HoustonStressins.com. I'm starting to write articles again more. So I wrote like a preview one today, which, I loved, like everything I wanted to look at and diagnose. It kind of all came to fruition. So I'll write like a recap one. I'll try to do that. Got a bunch more merch dropping. I'm wearing my CJ Stroud Hope shirt right now. So I'll start pushing that more. But, if you ever have any ideas on shirts you want out there, I'm going to work on a new 713 shirt with Kirk and Stroud. I'm going to do a new Casario shirt. I might try and do a D'Amico shirt, a Kaylee shirt. I thought about doing like it is tough too, because like you want to do it, but you don't want to be cheesy, so it's tough to like, put it out there. But I was even thinking like a Captain Kirk shirt, like maybe like find a way to like put Christian Kirk as a pirate. I don't know how that would play, but any ideas for shirts that y'all want, tell me. I got plenty of Astro stuff too. This is my hat right here, Stresson's hat. Gonna try to start pushing that more. I feel like some people know about it, but I feel like a lot of people don't. And then on the website too, the forum, I think, I feel like it's something that could be really good, like an ecosystem, but I kind of hesitate to promote it and push it. Excuse me. But I think what I might do, it's going to cost me some money, but I think that I want to make my website into an app, because I feel like it would be easier if it was an app, and then it would just be like another community for us to engage, have like forums, articles that I write, articles that anybody could write, like in a separate little area. Have all the videos. I find ways to aggregate all the long form videos from YouTube on any Texans interview ever. Boom, right there. And also to, all my content right in that app too. Boom. I just feel like it'd be cool. So, if you think that I should do that, encourage me to do it. It would cost me some money. So the thing is, like, I would basically, like, any money I earn doing this, which is nothing, it's just to help justify it to my wife because I spend so much time on it. But I also kind of reinvested into it because I feel like there's a lot to it, and everything I do is like natural and organic. Like I just did this from the jump, just as a fan, and like, oh, let me try this, let me try that, and like a lot of stuff I do is like stuff that I've always wanted as a fan, like merch or whatever. So that's that little rant there. So, but yeah, I'll go through the timeline. Yeah, obviously, Pena looked good this morning early, Pena popper, and it kind of went off that. And yeah, Altuve remains a great hitter and a terrible base runner. Stroud for the game showed off some hands. Let's see it real quick. There we go. Dime. Ursery beast. And let's see. Kind of go scroll through some of this. Aaron Wilson did a great job covering the team today. So Yeah, I said before, players I'm excited to watch: Woody Marks, Jawar Jordan, Luke Lakey, Graham Mertz. Baller didn't look great on the outside. Jaden Higgins, Jalen Knoll, Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith had a good day. He had some good PBUs. Jamal Hill, Darrell Taylor, and EJ Speed. Um, yeah, let me actually let's do this real quick. Let's go to my article. It was so you can kind of see the site while we're there. But let's see. What the heck? Why is it not? Let's try this. Let me type in my site. I'm gonna go check out this article real quick, and I'll kind of see. Yeah, but yeah. If you come here, it's kind of like my show's embedded right here too, and then YouTube embedded right here. Got all kind of stuff, man. Come check it out. But anyways, here's the article I wrote today. I appreciate the feedback, guys. And so yeah, let's just kind of so we can kind of see what I was looking for. But yeah, so I made predictions based off of listening to every press conference, following the team for a couple years, and I didn't suspect many starters to play. And so, one thing I wanted to check was the offensive operations. Um, with it being a new scheme and a scheme that does a lot of motions, the operations look great pretty much all around, especially in like the first teams from like the motion standpoints. We did have a couple false starts. I think it was Blake Fisher and Zach Thomas. And the Blake Fisher one, they said it might have been because of the center got the call in or snap late or something, but still, I mean, there's no excuse on that. And, center to quarterback exchanges were good. The motions were all good. We seemed to get in and out of the huddle pretty well. The running back battle. So we looked at that. I mean, Dare, I didn't even really talk about him that much, but Dare looked good. Woody did good in pass pro. We kind of covered that. And the wide receivers, and we kind of talked about that. The O-line competition, kind of talked about that. Scruggs and Ingram played good. Ursery played well. Jake Andrews played well. Blake Fisher did not play well. And then with the backups, I haven't really dove into it, but I think it was a mixed bag just from the naked eye on that. And then fullbacks and tight ends was a intriguing piece to me. I said I wanted to see the different personnel, 12 personnel, 22 personnel. And we saw that. We saw a lot of fullback play. And Jakob Johnson made a lot of big blocks. I didn't get to see Dalton Keene too much. Go back and look at that. And then Luke Lakey, I don't think he really had a great day. But he's a developmental piece. So probably better that he doesn't play great early on so we can stash him to the practice squad and then develop him. He's got a lot of potential to be a legit tight end. Stover looked great, dude. Stover had a good day. Stover had a catch or two, and he just looks bigger. He looks faster. He looks stronger. Stover, man. But defense, the defensive line and edge play, Darrell Taylor, we didn't see much out of him. I don't know if that was just by nature. And so Tommy Togiai is a backup, interior defensive lineman who's been balling, dude. He showed up for us late last year, guy who bounced around, came in here and did things good and, started balling, and he did good in the game. The interior D-line, Tim Settle did well too. He had a play where he pushed back Donovan Jackson, who we wanted, was at left guard. And then I did notice, though, like in the third quarter or so, the interior D-line play definitely dipped. They started running the ball all over us. So, and then there's other linebackers too, like Casey Osai. I want to say, or he's a defensive end, I believe. Maybe like a hybrid guy. And then Jackson Woodard, I don't think he had a great day, but he's the undrafted free agent at UNLV. But those are two guys that Caserio talked about with like the swarm mindset from undrafted free agents. Yeah, and I talked about I want to see EJ Speed. He did good. And then, Jake Hansen, Nick Nyman talked about them. Jamal Hill talked about him. Let's see. Secondary. So MJ Stewart started at strong safety, which is where, CJ Gardner-Johnson plays. And so I suspect, I don't know when he'll be back, but potentially week one, potentially longer. I would assume our fix, I wrote an article on that too, like what our options were when CJ's out. who's going to fill him. I think they kind of just go with MJ Stewart because he's familiar with the scheme and the system. They can kind of move some guys around. Jalen Reed was a guy that I would have wanted to see, a rookie who was having a good camp, but obviously he's out with ankle injury back a couple of weeks. Jalen Smith, he played good, like I mentioned. He played outside corner. I didn't really see him much at nickel. Miles Bryant played nickel. He's a solid nickel. And let's see what else. Russ Yeast is playing some safety. I think he had some good moments, bad moments. Arthur Mollett, I saw he made a big play. He made a play where he shed off the tight end and then tackled the running back, destroyed him. And it was either like at the line of scrimmage or for a TFL. And I remember watching it. I was like, and I said, am I saying Luke Lachey's name wrong, or is it Luke Lackey or Lakey? Luke Lachey. But yeah, so Arthur Mollett, he had a play where I thought he was a linebacker, but he's a nickel corner, and he like shed off this tight end and tackled the running back. Damon Arnett, I believe I forget what it was, but oh no, was that Damon Arnett who did it? Or no, Damon Arnett, I think he made a play. I think it was like a tackle or a PBU, so it was good to see. So yeah, we got some depth, man. There'll be some tough cuts on that back end. And then long snapper was something I wanted to see. It's one of those positions like O-line, like if everything's good, you just don't acknowledge it. But when it's bad, you acknowledge it. I didn't acknowledge him. He did good. Like we had good punts, good extra points. I mean, must be doing good. And then, yeah, kick and punt returners. I mean, nothing crazy there. So, yeah, let me go back. So I forgot how we kind of got over there. But, yeah, we'll go back to the timeline and kind of just going through the day this way. We'll be done here soon. These are all kind of just highlights now, essentially. But, yeah, so guys who didn't play, CJ Stroud, Titus Howard, Henry T, Cam, Sting, Kalen Bullock, Petrie, Pierce, Chubb, Lakin, Harris, Dalton, Aziz. And this was interesting, too. Aaron Wilson said also Daniil Hunter, Christian Harris, Kamari, Jalen, CJ GJ, obviously. And he said Nick Chubb, head. Not that he was getting some. I think it was because he hurt his head. So, like, did he get a concussion? I don't know. That was interesting. And let's see what else we got. So, yeah, so I said 2 tackles. One is TFL and a solid PBU by EJ Speed in the first drive. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then here's the play, Tim Settle.
Center. He'll throw to the left.
Got to mute these. So here's – all right. It's going to be Tim Settle. Shout out Jacob posted this. Just demolishing Donovan Jackson. Put him on his butt and then getting a hand on McCarthy. McCarthy did not look great, man. He went against primarily backups, very basic defensive schemes, didn't really blitz him, like maybe once, and didn't do squat. Missed some guys. And let's see. Yeah, so the first drive had me hype. And we kind of talked about most of this, just going through. Joe Mixon tuned in. Yeah, Brax, get in there. Great first drive, 100. So Mixon's hype. He's watching. Here's the play on the touchdown. If it'll load. I don't know why it's not loading. We'll get back to it. There's another clip where I can show it. Yep, Blake Fisher had a false start. Jamal Hill had a play. And then he also had a play in punt coverage. That player actually got hurt. Forgetting his name right now. It is Rondell Moore, I believe. And some people were speculating it was a hip drop tackle. I looked at it, Brandon pointed out, and it is not a hip drop tackle. So, and then shout out Senor Bablé, word up. Chamira, easy Super Bowl run. Facts. I'm feeling good after today, man. Brandon, is that on YouTube or just Twitter? What are you asking about, Brandon? And then Seymour Bablé, how we feeling about the offense operation? I'm hopeful. Yeah, I feel good. I'll refresh it. Yeah, it's on Twitter. I guess I can refresh it. I think it's gonna lose my spot in the timeline though. Scroll all the way back down. We're good. Let's see. A lot of content today, fellas. It feels good to be back. It's also like you haven't watched football in a while. You gotta like relearn like how you watch football. But today was awesome, man. I enjoyed it. Let's see. Okay, here's the touchdown. No, it's just that clip, but it's up here. We'll get to it. And get back to my spot. Here's like another angle of the Berrios touchdown. But yeah, I mean, he took a hit, bro, and he popped right up like dog, dude. And he's got some swag too. Look at him. For a white guy, come on, man. And here is a clip posted by Texans Cap, and he says, "Nice run blocking by Stover and Brevin Jordan on this play." So let's check it out. Yep, Stover and the receiver 19 Metch or Hutch. Look at dude. You see the duo? Like the C's just part? Come on, man. Watch this on the right side. Ed Ingram and Jake Andrews. And then also the left guard, or Ursery, dude. Ursery from all the way across. Let's see. Ursery destroyed that guy. You see that? Ursery took his guy from left edge to right edge. Holy cow, what a beast. Dude, look at this. Watch Ursery on this. He just – and so this is – I guess this is different too, like with this running. Like you're not having to – you can just block the guy how you see fit. So like if he starts to wash – just go with him. Take his momentum that way. You're not trying to like get him back this way. Like, no, okay, you want to go this way? I'm just going to keep pushing you that way. So watch Ursery, dude. And then Dare, look at Dare's patience. All right, look. So, Ursery's washing it out. Rather than just run up behind him, Dare's kind of stuttering, letting him chop, chop, chop. Okay, boom. Look at that hole. Boom. Dude. I'm pumped, man. I'm so pumped. I can't wait to watch film tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, and so Jacob was saying, the live grades on PFF, take it for what you want. But, Ingram was, playing well. What else we got? I don't know why these clips right here aren't working, but British Brooks knocked somebody out. All good, all good. All the Texans clips aren't working. That's weird. Let's see. Yeah, I noticed Popovich was all over the sidelines. Into the game, he was like active. There was times I feel like there was a special teams play. Like I saw him like down there, like yelling, like when Jamal Hill hit that guy. Like you love it, dude. Like before that, like we didn't even know who Strausser was until he got bad, and then you still never saw him on the sideline. So, but yeah, so a lot of this stuff is kind of what I've pointed out, just kind of me live tweeting it. Here's Noel's catch. Let's see. So he motions across the formation, man coverage. So Brevin gets a cleanup block on that. It was man to man. And now you got Brevin's out here. He's got a safety on him. And then is this a backer stacked out there? Let's see. And so the backer or in rushes. And so Brevin shoots out to the flats to try and block number 5. And now he also pauses and he realizes, okay, I'm in position to get either one of these guys. These are both threats. I'm going to take, the most dangerous man. And then he says, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go get him. But also, too, when you do this, too, like when he's coming out this way, you can't come out too fast or too aggressive because you can overshoot it and this guy can slip under. So he has to kind of like throttle and wait and see what he's going to do. And then once he sees, okay, he's going here, he books it to go wash him out, which he does. So the Noel has it. So Noel catches it, sees it. Okay, wait. But, this really wasn't – they had the numbers on this. It wasn't like anybody bad blocking. And so now he's like, you got to make a man miss. But look at this, dude. He basically like sneaks and like tucks and runs off the rear end of Brevin and breaks a tackle. Is that a safety or that's a pretty good broken tackle. And then now you got who is that blocking downfield lineman right there? 59 or 69? Who is that? Is that Let's see, Texans roster. That's good to see the lineman down there blocking. Let me see who that is. Roster number. I think it's 69. Nice. That's Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram down there blocking pancake. Man, and then let's see. This thing could have really broke after he broke that first tackle. I guess the other backside guys come to him, but yeah, Ed Ingram, dude. So there's a whiff there by Andrews. Yeah. But it's tough when you're trying to block a guy and they're out in front of you, running away from you. So the whiff by Andrews kind of muddies it up. But, I mean, that was like a 10, 11, 12-yard gain, so that was dope. And so this is something I saw, and I think this is what happened. So it was when we were going for it on fourth down and the clock's running down. CJ out of the game. It's freaking fourth quarter with 6 minutes left. And fourth quarter with 6 minutes left. Okay, so you said click on the circle and it should start. I'll try to go back and look at that video. So in a preseason game that doesn't matter. We're down 10 points. We're not going to win. Doesn't matter if you do win. Stroud runs up to D'Amico and tells him to call a timeout because we're about to do a big play, fourth down, clock's running down. He kind of goes up and talks to him. D'Amico's looking. And then timeout. Like, dude, that's crazy. He's engaged, so I think Jacob posted an interview here. Let's see if it does the whole thing. Here's a sideline interview from CJ.
So far out of the new guys.
I think J-No looks great. Higg looks great. I thought Davis did a great job. Braxton did amazing. So, our O-line will run the ball really well, and that's kind of working off the play actions and things like that. So, it was good.
And also in that same interview, Jawar Jordan had muffed a punt, and they asked him, "Hey, can you tell me what happened?" He's like, "Nah, I'm good." It's like, we got the ball back. It's all that matters. Like, my takeaway was he's like, I don't want to criticize my teammate. And then my other takeaway too was when the interview first started, she asked a question and he's got distracted. He's watching the game. Oh yeah. He was into the game, and it's again, third quarter, late in the game. So no, that was dope. T-Law is still killing people throwing hospital balls. Nothing's changed. We try to tell y'all. Oh yeah, so there was this clip EJ quote tweeted after the game. So when I posted this clip of Will Anderson Jr. being asked about EJ speed a while back, I thought it was because it was him beefing with CJ, on the podcast, but I think it's because he may have not known much about him. But
the last several years on the opposing side, but what does EJ speed bring to the second level of this defense?
Yeah, he brings, like you said, everything. Yeah, crazy.
And EJ quote said, "I'll answer." That's funny. Yeah, and here's a clip of Fisher getting beat. I believe it's by Gabriel Murphy. Not great. Let's see. Off the right edge, just knocks the hands down. Boom, straight to the quarterback. I think it's on Mills. Man, that's rough. Yep. And then Higgins, Knoll, and Hutchinson were all on the field at the same time. Iowa State, Houston Cyclones. There's some interviews with Ursery. There was no, quote-worthy stuff on those little clips there. We could watch the whole drive from Jacob real quick. He posted the whole drive. Let's do that. Let's watch the whole drive. First run, right behind Ursery. To the left for first run. We got a fullback in the game, Jakob Johnson. First and 10. And center makes a good block. Backer comes down to fill the hole. Jakob Johnson meets him in the hole, smacks him. Ursery kicks out the edge. Huge hole. And now you have the receiver also down in there ready to block. And Dare gets through there, and the backside backer gets there. But, you get a 4 5, 6-yard gain on first down, bro. Come on, dude. So let's see what we got next. Now we're dropping back. We're passing. Mills, quick game. That's what I love with this offense. Quick game, baby. And he hits Stover. Quick decisions, quick game. That's how you negate pass rush. Tempo, quick game. So it's a quick three-step drop. 1, 2, 3. And this was they kind of put they put this let's see, they put the defender in a bind here. This edge, this walked up backer, they put him in a bind. He had to go through between Stover and Brevin. So Stover's the inline tight end, Brevin's the wide, the wing. And so Stover has like a 8-10 yard out and Brevin has a flat, but they're both kind of like right off of each other. So now this defender has to choose the high or the low. They kind of get like a high-low on this. And Mills makes a quick decision. Boom, Stover's there, anticipates, throws it. Boom. His back shoulder caught it, got upfield. Like Stover looks quick, dude. Good hands. And go back to the run game. Boom. Look at that hole. Holy shit. I think it's the one we saw earlier, maybe. Let me see. This one we saw earlier? It probably is, but still, it's beautiful. We're not used to seeing this. Yeah, that's the one we saw earlier. Oh, my God. Fisher had a good block on that one. Had his guy kicked out. All right, going through it. Another run. So it's 2nd and 1 now. Yeah, just run the ball again. Let's see what we do here. Run to the right. Another fullback. Jakob Johnson gets in the hole and blasts somebody. Golly, dude. That's going to be – oh, this guy pushed Hutch in the back. Oh, let's see that. Hutch got pushed in the back and someone stood up, and then Stover stood up for him. Let's see here. Fullback again, dude. I love it. And so it's looks like a duo run and designed to go to the right, and he cuts it back. Ursery, Mullen, dude. God damn. Ursery's a dog, dude. Again, so like if we drafted Ursery and then he was in Slowick's system, he could be ass. Like, hey, yeah, you're gonna block, but we want you to run out to the wide and try and do this. Like, no, I'm just gonna freaking run someone over, dude. And Dare, dude, cuts it back, gets some yardage. But I mean, look at this. Look at this. Hat on a hat, all across the board. Like the whole O-line, dude. And the whole O-line and Jakob Johnson, they all get it like a hat on a hat. Everyone's accounted for except one backside backer. This is nuts. And, you know, even then we got a hand on them. Dude, if we get anything close to that with Mixon and Chubb back there, look out. All right, condensed formation. That's the play that Fisher got destroyed on. Look at this. Right tackle. Hands down. Boom. That's crazy. Mills got the ball off still. So think about that. Like, this is also, again, proof of why interior pressure is 1,000 times more detrimental than exterior pressure. Terrible rep by Fisher. He gets beat in 1, 2, like less than 3 seconds. Mills still gets it off for a 20 to 30 yard gain, but he just gets hit. So yeah, like, you know, you don't need a lot, but let's just see what the route is. It's Mechie downfield. So Mechie's starting to get it. Like, he bent around the guy and kind of bent his route. So I mean, he had a good game. Here's the wide angle. And that's an anticipatory throw by Mills. Throws him to the spot before he gets there. That's good. That's great. Hung on to the ball, too. Took a hit. Let's go, Mitch. Let's see. Condensed formation. Running play. And looks like it's a great gain to the left by Dare. Sorry from the podcast listening. Maybe it's still decent to kind of get some analysis, but it looks like on this one, it looks like right tackle Blake Fisher gets blown up again on the run. Let's see. Oh, he just gets swam through. He gets swam through by the is that him or the tight end? The whole right side was bad, but left side was good. Let's see. Yeah, the center. I mean, it was Blake Fisher and the tight end that were bad on the right side, but right guard on through did great. Great gain, 7-yard gain. Yeah, this was the play that I thought was a miscommunication. But look at this. This was a fake toss. Oh, no, it's play action. So yeah, now you're like gashing in the run game. Play action is there all day. Stover. So like Mills is throwing a corner out and his body's turned around. I guess y'all can't see it. Damn it. There we go. I guess I got to do like this. My bad if y'all were missing any of that. Yeah, so I want to see that in the all 22. Let's see what else we got here. 3rd and 3, 3rd down. This was the false start. It's a bad drive by him. Damn, dude. All right. 3rd and 8. This is the screen we saw, the other angle. I mean, yeah, I mean that's not the most exciting play call in that situation, but hey, you made it shake. And then, but I wonder too, though. I wonder this. I wonder if we would have gone for it on 4th and short, and that call was just to get positive yardage. And so the next play is the slither concept I was talking about. So this is Berrios. So we're gash on the run game. Now you're going to fake a run to the right, boot back out, and then you got Berrios in the flats, and like you got Watson blocking downfield, and he makes a good run in there. So this is called a slither concept, where the let's see, where the receiver or tight end or running back, whoever it is, in this situation, it's Berrios, the receiver. So it's play action to the right, but then he's going to leak back, but he's going to go under the line of scrimmage here. And so by going under the line of scrimmage, that's like a natural pick where 1, you can get lost, and 2, whoever's guarding you, if it is man, has to sift through all that, which I don't know if it is man or not. It's a zone, but like he gets lost behind there. But it's a concept that a lot of good OCs use in the red zone. It's a good way to scheme a guy open, easy for your quarterback, easy play, easy read. And we saw it earlier in training camp. So great stuff. Let's see. 119, Fish consistently stops his feet. Then he's over his skis, basic stuff. Damn. Senior Bubble, not sure if it's designed or fit the player, but had some great looking plays. I'm not sure who he's talking about. Oh, yeah, he's talking about, I guess, I think it's just designed for Kaylee. JJ Sugar, us trading back in the draft and still getting Ursary with Higgins may end up being a big brain move from Nick. Time will tell. Facts. I mean, yeah, so far so good, right? Nosh, get ready to learn Chinese, Blake. Yeah. Engineer, who the hell is Gabriel Murphy? Good question. Nosh Shahid, same old Goldilocks. Kelly 69, who are your standouts this game? I talked about a lot of them, but EJ, Dare, I pretty much got the same as everybody. Let's see. I'm getting tired if you can't tell. Let's see. Yeah, how is he this bad? Engineer said for Blake. Senor Bubble saw plays that we used to say, why can't our offense do that? Yep. Yeah. We're foaming at the mouth over like simple run plays. Like, oh my God, you see this? It looks so good. JJ Sugar Fisher sucked on that screen too. The guy that hit Noel was his block and he missed. Yeah, I think that's crazy, dude. Warner Muniz, Blake Fisher technique is horrible. Yeah, now we have film to like see, and the eye in the sky don't lie. So is what it is. A couple more things left before we go here, boys. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. This Saturday edition of Second Guessing with Stressin'. This is D'Amico talking about the O-line group.
My point of view, our O-line did a really nice job of controlling the line of scrimmage, which when we did run the football, there was no one in the backfield. There was no penetration, and it all starts up front. So I feel like those guys did a really nice job of setting the tone. And that's what we want to see from the offensive line. You come out, be physical, set the tone for the offense, and I thought that first group did a nice job of that.
Yeah, and so Base Plate says, do you think Justin Watson makes the roster? I do. And so we didn't – I guess we could listen. Nah, it's kind of getting late. I didn't clip the whole interview, but and you know what? Screw it. We'll listen to the whole interview from D'Amico. And that was, he said something that stuck out. That was, let's just listen to the interview and I'll answer that question. But yes, I think he makes the roster. I guess my point was, is just because a guy doesn't make a play in the game, that's not the only evaluation. Like for us, this is huge because this is the only access we have. But like they have a complete evaluation through practice and the game. Like the game is just a small part. Like they want to see consistency across the board and growth. But like we can only go off what we see. So we may see a guy have like a badass game or a bad game and like dictate, our opinion on their ability in the roster. But like we kind of have an incomplete picture. So let's just listen to D'Amico's presser here. Let me see.
For the game today, I was really pleased with our first offensive group, the way they stepped out, very efficient. I liked everybody just being calm and composed. Davis did an excellent job of driving the ball down the field, commanding the huddle, putting the ball in really good placement. Then to see Dare have a couple of nice runs there, that's playing behind his pass, and it was a really nice finish to the drive with Berrios, like him not only catching and securing the football, but finishing physically through the end zone.
Maybe specifically your offensive line on that first drive and Ariante
Yeah.
first takes some nice things.
And from my point of view, our O-line did a really nice job of controlling the line of scrimmage, which when we did run the football, there was no one in the backfield. There was no penetration, and it all starts up front. So I feel like those guys did a really nice job of setting the tone. And that's what we want to see from the offensive line. You come out, be physical, set the tone for the offense, and I thought that first group did a nice job of that.
I agree.
And Braxton.
Yeah, and so like what he's saying too is like you have no one's in the backfield. Yeah, you don't have negative plays, man.
Braxton has done it a long time in this league. He finds a way to get open. He made a lot of nice catches for us today. Also in the return game, he's very experienced, and you see that experience shows up in game time. So excited to see him continue to grow. And he started off really hot, and so excited to see where he transcends.
The lock to make the roster.
Yeah, defensively, saw some really nice plays from the linebacker spots. EJ, nice physical hit there. Jamal making some plays. Nick Neiman. You got a lot of guys stepping up, making plays defensively. Just with this group, we still have to figure it out. Those guys are competing, and competition makes everyone kind of step their game up. So,
talking about linebacker, dude.
Excited to see those guys this next week, see how they continue to progress.
So it's like the linebacker, there's still competition there, man.
Preseason, it's tough to evaluate guys, but we don't use just the games. Like I'm evaluating everything with these guys. That's the meeting room, like how you show up in practice, like what are you doing throughout the week? How have you grown from the first day to now? So it's an exhaustive process of really evaluating these guys, not just hanging my hat on one game or even the 3 games, because I know reps will start to get limited the more our first groups get more.
So that's what I was saying. Like, it's tough, but yeah, I mean, keep that in mind.
You got to take this into next week. What do you want to see from your players after a good week at the Greenbrier and the first preseason game as you guys go back?
Yeah, I'm really proud of our guys, being on the road for a week. Really proud how everyone handled it. Thankful to our staff for making this such a seamless transition. Like we have a ton of great people who work for us, help us out, help the players be able to perform at their best. Thought we did a nice job this week of bonding, being at the Greenbrier, and we grew closer as a unit. We got better as a football team. Now this next week, I'm looking for us to take that next step. Like, can we continue to improve, continue to grow? We'll have Carolina coming in. We'll have a joint practice next week. So excited, again, to go against someone else in practice and see how that week turns out.
Can't wait. Yeah, BD Rums on 97 on IG. Berrios is a dog. Facts, dude.
All our receivers did a really nice job. Mechie showed up making plays. You had Braxton making plays. A ton of different guys are showing up. So that's still, we got a really full room of guys there who can play in the NFL. So it's going to be tight competition, down to the wire. Yeah, CJ's in great spirits. He's doing well. I mean, we're all thankful that the injury is not as, extensive as it was first reported. So we are excited that, he'll be fine, take some time. He'll continue to progress and get better. So, thankful to know we'll be seeing him back on the field this year. And always with all of my guys who are in any injury situation, it's about those guys, me caring for them, making sure they are in a good spot mentally and physically. And CJ, he's great. He wants to be around the team, still had a smile on his face. But he'll be back, so we're excited about that.
He'll be back.
When you mix guys in the preseason, especially on the defensive side, it's not so much about the chemistry. What I'm looking for here in the preseason is, can a guy go out and execute the techniques and assignments of what he's been asked to do? Can he do it in the right manner? And you'll see some guys who are consistent and some guys are not. So I'm looking for who can we rely on, who can we trust? And I'm looking for guys to show up and prove to their teammates that you can trust me to be where I'm supposed to be. You can trust me to do the job that I'm asked to do. So it doesn't really matter about who's in or when they're in, but can you perform at a high level?
That's what I've been preaching. I'd listen to what he says and I use it for my opinions, but it's not all about who we think's the flashiest or most athletic. Reliability and trustworthiness is a big thing. You can't have guys going out there and just messing up. You'll take that and consistently reliable, trustworthy player over a high upside athletic guy. Engineer made a good point. He said one thing is overlooked is Mechie had a drop in a clutch moment, part of his underlying issue. JJ Sugar, I wanted to bring that up, Engineer, but big drop, but typical of Mechie at this point. So that's why I'm hesitant to say he had a really good day, he had a productive day, he made catches and they were all kind of non-flashy catches, that you're expected to make. But I guess especially for him, given in his spot, his position, he has to make every play, especially the big one on 3rd and 10. That's kind of a tough play, but if you're trying to make the roster, you need to show that you can, like you just said, consistently do it. You made some plays and not, so it's about consistency. So, and then Senor Buble says you're not going to fluke make this team. Facts. I agree. Almost done here, fellas. What's funny is I told myself and my wife, I was like, let's do a quick 30-minute little recap. It's freaking hour and 45 minutes. Okay. This is cool. Let's see. Shout out Sideline Sarah. Nice catch here. Offensive lineman celebration. Is that Ursery? Yeah, dude. Look at that. I feel we didn't get much of that last year. People are getting hyped, dude. Let me scroll through and make sure I didn't miss anything good. It's all loading now. And so we saw that. Yeah, so there's some interviews, and we just listened to the Miko one. Yeah, I think we're all caught up, man. No, it was a good day. I'm very optimistic. Again, all my thoughts are more high surface level when I say that I think this can be a top 10 offense, when I say that I think the O-line can be a top 15 O-line, which will allow us to be a top 10 offense. What we saw today, this small little sample, was exactly what I thought. More gap scheme, more beneficial to our O-linemen, getting 2 to 6 yards, less negative plays. Now you have play action, big shots. You have quarterbacks who have command and control. CJ Stroud is going to be, he can check out of runs. I don't know what all he did prior, but he's going to have a lot of flexibility. The O-line, we lost Tunsil, but overall net we're better. Yes, you lost an elite pass protector, but now you have a bunch of above average guys as opposed to this lopsided mixture. And then just Kaylee, I'm a believer in Kaylee. We already see it. And the defense is the defense. D'Amico's got that on lock. I'm not letting, any practice or report, this or that, change my overall philosophy or opinion on what I think this team will be. Even in these preseason games, even in the next ones, if it doesn't go smooth, I may be a little concerned here and there, but my overall thought process is still the same, and it's based off different logic. And I understand the parameters of all these practices and games and how they work. It's not, the real deal. So no, I'm optimistic, man. I thought today was awesome, and I'm glad that it happened for people to start to join me in the optimism. Because I think it's going to be, there may be like a little bit of a slow start to begin, but I mean, we'll have a really good test week 1 with the Rams and their D line. But I'm blessing, dude. I'm glad people are getting to see that, because I think that's the way it'll be the whole time. Yeah, we saw that earlier. Tim settled pancake, Donovan Jackson. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys. If you could sign up for my free newsletter on HoustonStressens.com. I'll try to write an article with basically all this stuff we just talked about. But love this stuff. We're back. Senor Buble says, appreciate you, Stressens. Appreciate you guys.